One of the easiest ways to improve the appearance of your truck or SUV is by installing aftermarket taillights. Now, there's a ton of different options out there, but one of the brightest are these LED taillights from Hella. They're easy to install, they look fantastic, and they improve the safety of your vehicle because they're brighter and they illuminate faster than a traditional bulb. Plus, LEDs last a really long time, which means less maintenance for you. Now, today on Motorz, we're going to show you how to install these LED taillights on 2 different pickup trucks. We're going to start by installing our Hella LED taillights on our 2008 Toyota Tundra pickup truck. Now, this is super easy, it just takes a couple of minutes. The only tools that you're going to need are a Torx T30 driver, a plastic pry tool, and some painter's tape. Now, we're going to start by taking our painter's tape and masking off some of the paint on the side of the light. We're going to be using our pry tool. Take your Torx T30 driver and remove these 2 screws. You've got one on the bottom and one up here on the top. Use a plastic pry tool to pop the light away from the vehicle. Remove the 3 bulb sockets from the taillight assembly and then remove the bulb that's in this top one. Since our new turn signal lens is red, we're actually going to swap out the amber bulb with the clear one we removed earlier. Remove these 3 covers over the bulb socket openings by pulling on the tabs, or you can also use a small flat blade screwdriver to get them out. Install the bulb sockets into your new lens. Install the new Hella lens by just snapping it into place right here, and then reinstall those Torx T30 screws, and repeat on the other side and give them a quick test. Once we're done with that, we're going to work on our third brake light. Yeah, that ought to do it. The tools you're going to need from the Sears Blue Tool crew for replacing a third brake light on a Toyota Tundra include some pry tools, a small ratchet, a 10mm deep socket, and a small flat blade screwdriver. Replacing the third brake light on a Toyota Tundra is hard, and the reason is because there's a couple nuts behind the headliner up here that you have to get to pop that light out. So first start by removing this plastic coat hook, the scuff plate, and the weather stripping that goes around the door. Now once you've done that, behind this cover is a 10mm bolt. You need to remove that so you can pull this trim panel away, give you some wiggle room for your headliner. Just be careful because there's some plastic tree clips behind there. You don't want to damage them or lose them. So at this point you should have enough room to get your hand up in there with your 10mm socket to remove those 2 nuts. After removing the 2 nuts above the headliner on the interior of the vehicle, remove these 4 screws that are holding this lens on. It pops off just like that. Then using a small flat blade screwdriver, lift up on this center tab to remove the entire light housing and then disconnect all these electrical connections. As you can see, the Hella LED third brake light on the top looks very similar to the OEM one, except it's got the LEDs in the middle. Even on the back side, it's got that single wiring harness connection. So all you have to do is just plug it in, reinstall it, and put those nuts back on the back side. To show how much faster the LED taillights from Hella illuminate, we've only installed one at this point on the driver's side there on the left. On the right is the stock lens. To show you a more dramatic difference, we'll pause the video for approximately 2 seconds before resuming, and it will show it to you again real time. The installation of our Hella LED taillights on our 2009 Chevy Silverado is very similar to our Tundra. The tools are a little bit different. We've still got our painter's tape, our plastic pry tool, but this time we're going to use a Phillips head screwdriver. So let's take our tape and mask off our paint where we're going to use the pry tool. Use your Phillips head screwdriver to remove these two screws, one on the bottom and one on top. With a twisting motion, use your pry tool to push the taillight towards the rear of the vehicle. Remove these three bulb sockets from the taillight assembly, then remove the bulbs from the top and bottom brake lights, leaving the one for the backup light intact. Remove these three protective covers from the bulb openings by pulling on the tab or using a small screwdriver. Mount this transformer on the inside of the bed frame just to get it out of the way, and then take the backup bulb and reinstall that on the bottom, and then the brake bulb sockets connect to these terminals right here. Now, swapping out this third brake light couldn't be easier. There's two screws right here that you got to remove and a wiring harness that just goes right into there. Well, this is what we started with, and this is what we've got now. Now, Hella's LED taillights and third brake lights are easy to install and just require some basic hand tools. Now, for more information on their lights, go to myhellalights.com, and for more episodes of Motorz, go to motorz.tv. We'll catch you next week. Yeah, that's good TV. Before.
Magic!
After! Well, we went from bland to BAM with just a couple of minutes. Well, we went from stock to hot in just a couple of minutes. Well, we went from naughty to hottie in just a few minutes. Well, we went from owie to wowie in just a few minutes.